You know, after over 25 years of teaching, I've worked with literally thousands of higher handicap golfers, and most of them struggle and do not improve because of just two common threads. So right after this, let's get into those two common elements, and let me offer some tips for you on how to move those two issues forward so that you can get your handicap down this year. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Steve with HitItLonger.com. I'm on a journey, as you know, to hit it longer and straighter down the fairway. I try not to leave any stone unturned in my seeking of distance and accuracy all the way to the green, because it just makes golf more fun. So if that's your journey as well, and you want to get your distance a little bit longer and you want to get your handicap a little bit lower, I hope you'll subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment down below. Okay, so what are the two big nemeses of the higher handicap? Well, simply, it's slicing and chunking. So let's take a look at some of the most common ways that we can fix that, the easiest ways we can fix it, that usually common denominator of why golfers do these two faults that keeps them from getting their handicap lower. Okay, so first let's talk about the slice. With the slice, we've really got to get grip and setup squared away. So my number one thing that I see among all my private students when they're higher handicaps is their left hand is simply too weak. So here's what 12 o'clock thumb looks like, and that's how most golfers I see who are, you know, struggling beginners, just trying to get going, they kind of just put their thumb straight down the grip like this at 12 o'clock. I would encourage you to check this, and if there's something you do, I want you to turn your hand an hour to the right. Again, making sure that you've got the grip at the base of the fingers and not in the palm, because that's going to wreck us right away. Base of the fingers. Now, if I've got this thumb over to 1 o'clock, and I've got this nice tight crease between my thumb and my index finger, I should be able to see and read the logo on the back side of the grip here in the Velcro area. If I can't, it means that my grip is too much to the side or too much to the left, too weak. And weak is turning to the left more, becomes more slicey. Once you have the left hand on there, just let the right hand try to kind of fit where it naturally feels like it needs to go, and you'll have much more ammunition in your fight against the slice. A second big reason I find golfers tend to slice, especially higher handicaps, is they line up too level and open. So you see my shoulder line right now is off to the left and it's too level. So it would make me tend to swing very up and steep and then down and across. So my swing will tend to be too vertical on a swing plane and not low and around me enough, which will cause the club to cut across from outside to in. And with a combination of that weak left hand grip leaving the club face open, that's when I'm going to get the typical out to in slicers pattern. So instead, I'm going to take this 1 o'clock grip again. I'm going to try to build on it by getting my shoulders set up more in the square and under position like this. Let me show you from the face-on angle. I'm going to get my right side under like this and make sure that my shoulders are at least square. And if you'd like to draw the ball, feel free to overdo the lineup of the shoulders and actually get them a little bit closed. It's not a bad idea to exercise this way on the range anyway. Over exaggeration a few times is a very good way to train. So here is an overdo of the shoulders. They're now closed. And this is now going to promote a swing that's more low and around this way. So let me see if I can put that in action and hit a draw from the inside, just based on how I'm set up and gripping. One major flaw that is shared by many high handicap golfers. Let's define a high handicap golfer as somebody who consistently shoots above 85, all the way well into the hundreds. A lot of you out there share the commonality of having the swing be two arms dominated. So it would look something like this. Let's try it from the face-on angle. If I just pick the club up and lift the arms, drop the arms like this, and you can see that there's relatively little torso turn and there's relatively little weight shift. So I've got the speed whoosh here. This is a really cool tool, especially for someone who chunks the ball, because if you chunk the ball because you're not moving enough shifting and turning, and you're not utilizing your lower body and your chest turn enough, it would look something like this with the swoosh. The swoosh would be back here. I can hear it because I am not shifting or turning my body at all. My legs and my feet are very quiet. Let me do it from this angle. Okay, so I've also got, if we slow that one down, you'll see I've also got a pretty good chicken wing. Because I'm not rotating the body enough or shifting the weight enough. So if you do this exercise, you could do it with a club or you could do it with a stick like this. I like this because it whooshes nice and loud. Is I'm hearing the swoosh way back behind my right foot. Now if I just flip that on its head, and let's say I was to make sure that I step all my weight over to my left foot, notice the position of my right foot here is no longer in position to support weight. So I would just collapse, I'd buckle because I'm way on the inside here. So stepping over, turning the chest at least 45 degrees, and swooshing way out in front of my left foot. So we're going to keep it about shin high here. It's step, turn, swoosh. Step, turn, swoosh. So put the step and the turn out in front of the swoosh, and you should get your divot to start evolving in front of the ball so you can catch it clean with what we call forward lean of the shaft and get that ball compressing, get it clean up in the air for a pure strike. So let me take a swing and we'll replay it in slow motion so you can see how active my lower body and chest are prior to the strike of the ball. So here we're going to take the 1 o'clock grip, overdo the shoulders, and now swoosh out in front. Boy, that was a good shot right on target. You will also notice once you start to use the swoosh drill and start activating your shift and turn, you're going to see a whole new gear of power as well, which is really neat and is also going to help drop your handicap back down and, you know, under the bogey range, and you can shoot in the 80s, maybe into the 70s soon. Okay, now let's talk about the club that probably gives you the biggest fits, at least with the slice, and that's the driver. So with the driver, we're going to try to do both of these ideas we've talked about so far, which is, you know, fixing the setup so that we can swing more low and from the inside, fixing the grip so the face doesn't have to be so open relative to the path. Now, combining these two things with the out in front swoosh is going to be exponentially harder. So let's try the swoosh stick again. This is called the speed whoosh. Let's take the ball off the tee here. Notice how I've set up the bag. I've pulled out a shaft and I've put a head cover on it, just an old shaft that I can afford to part with. And I'm going to, number one, I'm going to practice swinging back down underneath the head cover. My hands will go inside it, and yet I'm still going to preserve the out in front swoosh. So something like this. Stay underneath the head cover, and yet still shift and turn enough to get my swoosh way out here in front of the ball. So that's going to take a lot of shifting and turning prior to the strike, like this. So I clearly heard the swoosh well out in front, and I'm going to get my speed coming into the ball, maxing out at the right location. We're trying to intend it to be about 30 inches in front of the ball. All right, let's give this a try on the driver, and let's see if we can't get a nice high draw working with the correct point in space that I'm swishing the club because I've shifted and turned in my body. All right, so 1 o'clock grip first. Overdo the setup going under and rightwards this way. Now under the head cover and swoosh. So hey, I hope some of these tips are going to help some of you higher handicaps out there both start to get rid of some of your slice or your out to in pull shots, promote a little bit more power, as more distance is also going to help you get your scores down, and also get your lower body moving so that you can put your divots out in front of the ball. Remember, it's how much shift and turn you do before the strike that matters, not after. All right, so I'm going to get back to work on these fundamentals so that I can hit it longer and straighter. But thanks to Golf Development Complex in Moorpark, California for hosting us today. Seems to be always a beautiful day here. I hope you'll come and join me and hit some balls here sometime soon. And hey, if I don't catch you in the next video, I hope I see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Take care till next time.